Sometime back, I did a video on income tax. We were discussing how to define income and when is money called black money and white money and so on. If you haven't seen that, I suggest look it up. Many of you asked for more input on the subject of income tax. So today, let's discuss a few other dimensions about it. Tell me, should we pay income tax? Doesn't matter how much it hurts you, doesn't matter how much people criticize when they have to pay income tax. I don't meet anyone who says, no, we should not pay it. Why do we pay income tax? Folks, without even going into complicated theories of taxation, there are so many benefits and amenities that the government provides to us, which in nature are such that we cannot provide them for ourselves. Even if I take blatant examples, we use the roads, we use the railways, we have police to protect us, we have armies to protect our borders. Now, all these are meant for you and I. And all these are such that we can't provide them for ourselves. Imagine the government tells everybody, please construct a road a few meters outside your respective houses. A large majority of us will not be able to afford to construct a few meters of road. But how many miles and miles of roads we use? And all the other benefits that the government gives us. So the logic of income tax is very, very simple. What is the logic? All of us use the facilities, therefore all of us must contribute. What is the problem of income tax? Problem of income tax is all of us use the facilities, but all of us not only don't contribute, all of us can't contribute. And why can't all of us contribute? Because a significant portion of our population lives below what is known as the poverty line. Now, what does it mean when we say so-and-so living below the poverty line? That person doesn't earn enough for the daily needs. What are the daily needs? It's not food, clothing and shelter. In fact, shelter probably comes under the category of semi-luxuries in India. A person who lives below the poverty line does not earn enough to get 3 meals a day. Somebody sitting in some ministry of economics or something must be calculating how much should a normally healthy individual consume in terms of calorie intake in order to continue to remain normally healthy. Then a calculation is made, how much does it cost to procure enough food to be able to get that many calories? Which food? Not the rich food, the cheapest form of food available. If dry bread is the cheapest form of food, then how much does it cost to buy enough dry bread to get that many calories? And therefore, how much should you earn per month in order to get that much of food for all 30 days of the month? And if the family has 4 members, then this number multiplied by 4, if the family income is below that number, then it is a BPL family, below poverty line family. I said the logic of income tax is all of us use the facilities, so all of us must contribute. Can this segment that lives below the poverty line, can it contribute? Are they even bothered whether your roads have potholes or not, or your street lights are functioning or not? They are struggling to survive. Do you know what percentage of our population lives below the poverty line? Let's say, for the sake of this discussion, 30% of the population lives below the poverty line. Can this 30% contribute? No way. How much does that leave you with? Say 70%. Now guys, if 30% of the population lives below the poverty line, where are the remaining 70%? Are they there somewhere? Maybe another 30% are just above. If 30% of the population does not earn enough to have 3 meals a day, another 30% earns enough to have 3 meals a day. They're not rolling in riches. Can they contribute tax? No. How much does that leave you with? 40%. But now the government says, I don't want your tax unless you live a relatively decent life. Those numbers keep changing. Tax-free income. Guys, out of that 40%, another 30% earn less than the tax-free limit. How much did that leave you with? About 10%. 10% of your population earns enough to have 3 meals a day and to have a surplus above the tax-free limit out of which they can pay income tax. And folks, out of the 10% that can pay income tax, 60% of that 10% are tax evaders. Should we pay income tax? Answer is of course we should pay income tax, if for no other reason except as a token of thanksgiving that you occupy the top 10% slot of your country's population. The least one can do is pay income tax. There are two types of people. There is a person called tax planner and there is a person called tax evader. Tell me, what is the tax planner trying to do? What are the efforts of the tax planner aimed towards? His efforts are aimed towards trying to either minimize tax liability or eliminate the tax liability. What is the tax evader trying to do? Either to minimize or to eliminate tax liability. End result of the actions of both the tax planner and the tax evader is the government is deprived of income tax. But the tax planner is considered to be a very honorable individual and the tax evader is considered to be a crook. Why? Obviously, the reason is because of the modus operandi adopted. How does the tax planner reduce his tax liability? The tax planner looks at his income. How much have I earned? So much. How much is the tax? So much. He said, too much. Government says, you think it's too much? Okay, I'll tell you what to do. Out of your income, why don't you put so much money in National Savings Certificate or a PPF account or take a life insurance policy and pay premium? And we will give you a rebate, say 30% rebate for the amount that you invest. How did the tax planner save tax? He saved money. He protected his family. Who is he trying to do a favor to? When you save money, who are you trying to protect? Yourself for a rainy day? When you take insurance on your family, who are you trying to protect? Your family? Why does the government say that if you do something where the ultimate beneficiary is also you, we will sacrifice income tax? Do you think the government is a net loser or must they also be gaining? Obviously, they must also be gaining. Let's imagine everybody is a fool. If you don't give him an incentive to save, the guy is going to blow up all his money. And if he blows up all his money, tomorrow if there is a problem in the family, the person gets into trouble, he's a burden on the nation eventually. How do we induce him to save? Let's say we dangle this carrot in front of him. If you save so much money, we will give you so much of tax exemption. But when this fellow saves money, when he puts it in National Savings Certificate, it comes to the government for so many years. If you put it in life insurance, in one case for 5-7 years, another case for 15-20 years, you put it in PPF, it can run your lifetime if you want. So the calculation is, if we get this money, then this money can be routed via public financial institutions, given back as loans to industry, will lead to more employment, will lead to more tax collection, will lead to more GDP, etc., etc. And in order to enjoy this benefit, what is the cost to the nation by way of tax exemption? This cost benefit analysis, if it reveals that the benefit to the nation is greater than the cost, this kind of deduction must be granted. What I'm trying to tell you folks is, when a tax planner saves tax, that individual benefits, but in the process the government benefits more. I'm saying it will be misplaced patriotism for somebody to say, I don't want my government to lose any tax, so I'm not going to save anything, I'll pay my tax fully. It's a moot point. Did you do a favor to the government, or maybe you did a disfavor to them? How does a tax evader save tax? Tax evader looks at his income. How much have I earned? So much. Oh, too much. No, I don't want to pay tax. Modus operandi adopted is, he decides to keep mum, doesn't disclose. In my opinion, the very fact that the tax evader has not paid tax is a minor crime. Even the tax planner didn't pay. But this minor crime necessarily leads to a major crime, which is what? Tax planner didn't pay tax, but he did it legitimately. The man is not scared to spend. Tax evader didn't pay tax, minor crime. But now the guy is scared to spend, because if he spends, he will get caught. If he uses this money and goes and buys a house, sooner or later it will come to light. If he goes and does anything that can be traced back to him, eventually the fellow might get caught. So his avenues of spending get shrunk. And when the tax evader finds he has earned but can't spend due to fear, then that money goes under the tile in his bathroom. And I think this is where the bigger crime starts. What is the bigger crime? Guys, when he doesn't spend, he breaks the chain. I earn, I pay tax. I spend. This fellow pays tax. He spends. This fellow pays tax. He spends. Next fellow doesn't pay tax. Not important. But he doesn't spend. And he now breaks the chain. He has not only deprived the government of tax that the government would have collected from this fellow, but he has deprived the government of tax which countless after him would have paid. and like cancer it spreads. Doesn't mean he doesn't spend. But from his bathroom, it goes to the next guy's bathroom. If this fellow has earned money and not paid tax, now when he wants to buy some property, he will tell the builder, can we do a 60-40 deal, take 60% and check 40%. So from his bathroom goes to the builder's bathroom. When the builder goes to buy the plot of land, he makes a similar offer. This money moves, but it moves in parallel circles. So the black economy is also called the parallel economy. The government and you and I get no benefit out of it, no public spending, no infrastructure, nothing out of it. And therefore, guys, this menace has to be curbed. Some other day I'll explain how any attempt at saving tax, guys, is more expensive than the payment of tax itself. If you pay the tax paid money can be used for so many things, you'll recover far more. But when you don't pay tax, you think you benefited, but the losses, I think, are much more than the gains. In another video on another day, we will talk more about this. Thank you so much, guys, for your support.